The galaxy had waited for years. The Valkyrie Empire had grown strong, fast, and fearless. They had already conquered 19 planets. They destroyed the Koshnai, enslaved the peaceful Gen, and even made the mighty Taurax kneel. No one dared to stand against them. Now they wanted Earth. Many alien leaders warned the Valkyrie not to make that move. Old records spoke of Earth's strange history. Wars that made no sense, humans who fought with madness and refused to die, cities that turned into fire, and weapons that ended in silence. But the Valkyrie didn't care. General Alvek, the commander of the Valkyrie fleet, stood on the bridge of his flagship, Kraxion. His red armor glowed in the dark. His voice was cold. "Prepare the fleet. Target Earth's colony near Saturn. Show them what real power looks like." His officers obeyed. 14 warships moved toward the mining station orbiting Titan, Saturn's moon. The station had no weapons, only workers, mostly humans. It would be an easy kill. On the mining station, human engineer Tom Reyes looked up from his console. His hands were dirty from repairing a broken oxygen pipe. He wore no armor. He had no weapons. The station alarm beeped. "Multiple unknown ships incoming," the AI voice said. "Valkyrie warships, 14 confirmed." Tom froze. The others around him, miners, techs, one cook, looked up. There were no defense systems, no escape pods. They were alone. High above them, on the bridge of the Kraxion, General Alvek watched as the small station came into view. It floated quietly, like a toy. He laughed. "Send the message," he ordered. "Give them a chance to surrender. I want to hear them beg." The comms officer pressed a button. A deep voice echoed toward the station. "This is General Alvek of the Valkyrie Empire. Your kind is weak. Your station is surrounded. Surrender or be erased." Tom looked at the others. No one spoke. The silence was heavy. Then, the old cook named Sarah, nearly 70 years old, stood up and pressed the comms button. Her voice was calm. "This is Sarah Jenkins. We are not soldiers, just people. You want war? Fine. But don't say we didn't warn you." Then she ended the call. Tom blinked. "You just told them we accept war?" Sarah gave a small smile. "No, dear. I just reminded them who they're dealing with." In space, the Valkyrie fleet began charging weapons. The Kraxion's cannons glowed blue. The others locked onto the station. Then something strange happened. Another ship arrived. It wasn't a warship. It was a cargo freighter, old, rusty, small, barely held together. It came from Earth's direction, slow and quiet. General Alvek narrowed his eyes. "What is that?" "Joke?" The comms officer checked again. "No weapons, no shields, no crew detected." Alvek laughed. "Destroy it. This is pathetic." But just before the order was given, the freighter stopped moving. Then it started glowing. Blue lines appeared across its surface. Strange symbols lit up. The ship began to vibrate, but it made no sound. Not even the scanners could understand what was happening. Alvek stood up. "Wait, what is that ship doing?" "Unknown, sir," said the tech. It's charging something, but we don't know what." Tom and Sarah watched from the station window. The cargo ship floated in silence. Then, a light so bright it made the stars look dim shot out in all directions. For a second, nothing moved. Then, boom. But it wasn't a normal explosion. There was no fire, no smoke, no debris. The Valkyrie warships didn't explode. They just vanished. All 14 of them, gone. No sound, no light, no trace, only the empty black of space. General Alvek was gone. So were his officers. So were the ships. Tom stared at the screen in shock. Did that ship just erase them? Sarah gave a slow nod. "Looks like it," a quiet voice came from behind. It was one of the miners, a young woman from Earth named Lynn. "I thought Earth wasn't ready for war," she whispered. Sarah turned to her. "Earth is never ready," she said, "but Earth is never helpless." Far away, deep inside Earth's defense command, a group of silent humans watched the same footage. One of them, a tall man with a steel cane, finally spoke. "They used Protocol Echo 7, quantum pulse detonation." Another one frowned. "We said we wouldn't use that tech again." "We didn't," the tall man said. "They did." The freighter was unmanned, controlled by a dead man switch. The others looked at each other. "So what now?" one asked. The tall man turned toward a wall covered in alien languages. "They'll send more. But now, they'll know." A day later, a Valkyrie scout ship arrived at the last known location of the fleet. The captain stepped out, expecting to find pieces of metal, burnt wrecks, or maybe signs of battle. But there was nothing. The mining station was still there. One old freighter floated quietly. The rest, gone. A message blinked on the scout screen. It was human, simple. "You declared war, but you started it too late." The captain's claws shook. He pressed the emergency comms button. "This is Captain Varn of the Valkyrie Scouts. Do not approach Earth. I repeat, do not approach Earth. They're not normal. They're..." The signal cut out. Somewhere in a dark room on Earth, Sarah sat alone. She watched the stars through the window of the mining station. She had once been a soldier, long ago, retired, tired. She had joined the mining crew just to stay away from war. But war had come anyway, and now Earth had responded, not with armies, not with fire, but with silence and fear. Back on the Valkyrie homeworld, the Emperor sat on his throne. He watched the report from the scout ship. His face was unreadable. An advisor stepped close. "Shall we send another fleet?" The Emperor didn't answer. He simply looked at the last line of the human message. "You declared war, but you started it too late." His claws gripped the throne. Then he whispered, "What are these humans?" The Valkyrie Empire was angry. Their strongest fleet had vanished without a trace near Saturn's moon. 14 warships destroyed by one human cargo ship. No one believed it at first. The reports sounded like madness, but the scout ship confirmed. Now, the Valkyrie wanted revenge. General Rax, a ground commander famous for burning 4 cities on planet Korra, stood tall in front of his team. He was huge, almost 3 meters tall, covered in red and black armor. His face had sharp lines like a beast ready to strike. He looked at the soldiers behind him, 30 elite fighters trained for years. They were silent, cold, deadly. Rax smiled. "This time," he growled, "we go ourselves." The target was Mars. The humans had a research base there. It was small with only a few people. The Valkyrie believed it was weak, no major weapons, just scientists and a few engineers. Easy, they planned to land, take control, and send a message to Earth. "Your minds cannot save you from our blades." The dropship cut through the thin Martian atmosphere. Inside, the soldiers checked their weapons. Each one carried a plasma blade, shock rifle, and armor that could stop railgun fire. They expected silence on the ground. Instead, their radios filled with music, soft and strange. A human voice sang, "Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars." The soldiers looked around, confused. "What is this noise?" one hissed. General Rax ordered, "Cut the feed." They tried. They couldn't. The song continued, louder now. In other words, "Hold my hand." It wasn't just music, it was mocking them. The dropship landed in dust. The door opened. The Valkyrie rushed out, fast, trained, alert. But there was nothing. No movement, no humans, just red sand and quiet rocks. They moved toward the research base. It stood like a small grey box, half buried in the sand. One soldier scanned the area. No heat signals, no defenses. General Rax frowned. Something is wrong. He pointed toward the entrance. You, check it. The soldier stepped forward. The door opened automatically. He walked inside. 2 seconds later, he screamed, then silence. No gunfire. No explosion. Just silence. Rax growled. Form up. We go together. 29 soldiers entered the base. It was dark. Lights blinked along the floor. Wires hung from the ceiling. The hallway was too quiet. Suddenly, the lights shut off. Darkness. A red emergency light flickered on. Then a voice echoed through the hallway. A human voice, male, calm, amused. You shouldn't have come here. The Valkyrie spun around, aiming rifles. No one to shoot. The voice continued. You brought 30 soldiers. But you only need one mistake to lose them all. Rax roared. Who are you? Show yourself. The voice answered. Name's Reed. I fix things. And I hate cleaning up alien blood. A sharp metallic snap came from the ceiling. Then a heavy pipe fell, crushing one soldier instantly. Another took a step back and triggered a mine. His armor held, but the second blast under his feet didn't. He vanished in a cloud of dust. Panic began. One soldier fired at the wall. It screamed, not a normal wall. A living defense layer. A trap disguised as metal. The walls twisted, releasing gas. The lights flashed. Music returned. I love you, Rax shouted. Fall back. They turned to escape, but the door they entered was gone. Gone. The hallway had changed shape. The building was alive. Reed stood in a control room, watching everything through cameras. He sipped coffee from a cracked mug. Idiots, he muttered. He pressed a button. In one hallway, the gravity flipped. 3 soldiers slammed into the ceiling. Then the ceiling turned electric. More screams. Reed smiled. He had worked in this research base for 5 years. It had once been a peaceful lab. But after the first Valkyrie attack near Saturn, Earth sent upgrades. They didn't send soldiers. They sent Reed. The Valkyrie numbers dropped fast. Lasers cut from hidden walls. Floors opened under their boots. Ceilings dropped nets made of microblades, and all the while, the song played. In other words, please be true. General Rax finally found a clear room. Only 4 soldiers left. All were injured. Rax slammed his fist against the wall. Face me, human. You coward. Come out. A door opened behind him. He turned quickly, ready to kill, but there was only one man, no armor, just a human in a brown jacket, holding a wrench. Reed. The Valkyrie lifted their weapons. Reed didn't move. He just looked at Rax. You're the boss, right? Rax hissed. You dare face me without armor, without fear? Reed shrugged. I had breakfast late, didn't feel like dressing up. Rax growled and lunged. Reed stepped sideways. The floor under Rax clicked. Rax fell into a deep pit. A magnetic field locked him in place. He couldn't move. Reed looked down at him. Your empire called us weak, he said. But we don't fight like you. We don't send millions to die. He leaned closer. We send one. The last 3 Valkyrie charged. Reed pressed his wrist pad. A panel opened behind them. 3 defense drones flew out. Small, fast, silent. They didn't fire bullets. They used sound. High-pitched blasts hit the soldiers' helmets. Their bodies froze, eyes wide, minds broken. They dropped, shaking, alive. But no longer soldiers. General Rax lay in the pit, staring at the human above him. You are monsters. Reed stared back. No, he said quietly. You came here. You brought war. You thought we would beg. He turned and walked away. But you're the one begging now. Hours later, Earth's command center received a message. It was from Reed. Only 2 words. Mars secured. The Valkyrie High Council met in silence. Not one smiled. Not one spoke. For a long time. Finally, one elder said, "They didn't even send an army." Another whispered, "One man destroyed our best team." They looked at the screen. It showed Earth's emblem, a blue circle, half-lit. Under it, a line of human text. "We don't start fights, but we finish them." The Valkyrie Empire was desperate now. First, their fleet vanished near Saturn. Then their elite ground team was wiped out by a single human engineer on Mars. No army, no bombs, just traps. Now, fear spread through the Valkyrie ranks. Their leaders didn't understand. Humans didn't follow rules. They didn't fight fair. They made the galaxy feel wrong. But the Valkyrie weren't ready to give up. They believed humans were just clever cowards. This time, they would lure Earth into their trap. In the deep void between star systems, the Valkyrie set up a fake distress signal. It came from an old cargo freighter drifting near a dead moon. The message was weak, broken, and full of static. "This is Earth ship, Starwind, power failing. Medical help needed." The signal was fake, but it sounded real. The Valkyrie made sure it looked like a trap humans wouldn't resist. A lonely ship. Someone in danger. Earth couldn't help themselves. They knew humans always tried to save others, so the Valkyrie waited, hidden in stealth ships. Watching. Waiting. 2 days passed. Then, a human ship came. Not a warship, just a rescue cruiser. Painted white. Medical. Signs on the side. It moved slow, careful, and honest. On the bridge, Captain Mira Thorne watched the signal. Her crew was small, only 10 people. Medics, engineers, and 1 pilot. She knew it might be a trap. She came anyway, because that's what humans did. Her ship, the Silver Reach, stopped near the drifting freighter. The ship was quiet. No lights. No signs of life. "Could be survivors, in cryopods," Mira said. Her second officer, Joel, frowned. "Or it's a trap." "I know," she said calmly, "but we still check." They launched a small shuttle and approached the freighter. From the shadows, the Valkyrie watched. Inside one of the hidden ships, Commander Drex licked his sharp teeth. "Let them dock. Wait until they enter." His soldiers were ready. 40 in total, waiting in cloaked ships, surrounding the area, invisible. The moment the humans stepped inside, they would trap the rescue ship, capture the crew, learn their secrets. Simple, easy, until it wasn't. Mira's team entered the freighter. It was cold, dead, no lights, just flickering screens and frozen air. They moved carefully, checking each room. No life signs, no bodies, just dust. "Something's not right," Joel said. Mira nodded. She tapped her wristband. "Activate drone scan." 5 small drones flew from the shuttle. They mapped the ship's insides. Heat, movement, signals. Nothing. Empty. But then, one drone caught something strange. Signal, not from the freighter, from the space around it. Mira checked the data. She froze. "Joel, this ship isn't the trap." He looked at her. "Then what is?" She turned slowly. "The space is." The drones picked up hidden Valkyrie ships, barely visible, cloaked with dark tech. Mira didn't panic. She didn't shout. She smiled and whispered, "They think they're hunting us." She pressed a button on her pad. "But we brought the real hunters." A flash blinked behind the Silver Reach. Another ship dropped out of warp. It was black. Silent. No lights. It didn't look human. No markings, just smooth metal and strange curves. It had no name. The Valkyrie saw it. Scanners didn't work. Weapons didn't lock. Then something terrible happened. Their ships began to shake without being touched. Their systems failed. One by one, their weapons powered off. Their engines stopped. Their screens went black. Then a message appeared. On every Valkyrie ship. "You were warned." Inside the freighter, Mira received the all-clear. The stealth ship had done its job. She smiled and tapped her comms. Extraction complete. No shots fired. Joel stared. Wait, what was that ship? Mira looked out the window. It doesn't have a name, she said. It doesn't need one. She turned toward him. It was built off the grid. Not by the government, not by the army. Just people. Joel frowned. People? Yeah, Mira said quietly. People who got tired of being hunted. Commander Drex on the lead Valkyrie ship tried to escape. He slammed his fist on the emergency warp drive. Nothing. Then the black ship spoke. Not with sound, with feeling. Every Valkyrie on every ship suddenly heard a voice inside their heads. A human voice, soft, tired, and angry. You hurt the weak. You hunted the kind. You sent war where there was no battle. Now feel what it's like to be prey. Then the black ship moved. Fast, unreal. 1 second it was far. Next, it was inside their fleet. But it didn't shoot, it didn't need to. Their ship simply stopped. Systems dead, weapons frozen, and then slowly the Valkyrie ships turned. Not toward Earth, but away. Something had hacked their navigation. Now their own fleet was being sent back, on a direct course toward their homeworld, their ship logs filled with one line. Next time, think twice. Hours later, Earth Command received a secure message. It came from the black ship's crew. It was only 3 seconds long, one image. The Valkyrie fleet, floating in deep space. Systems offline, engines frozen, all ships intact, but powerless and... In the center, the freighter they tried to use as bait, still empty, still harmless, but now shining with a single word painted across its hull: try. The Valkyrie High Council met again. Silence filled the room. One elder stood up. We didn't just lose soldiers, he said. We lost control. Another spoke. They've changed the rules. They don't meet force with force. They use something worse. The room agreed. Humans were no longer just a strange species. They were a problem the galaxy didn't know how to solve. Back on Earth, Mira stood by her ship window. She looked at the stars. You think they'll come again? Joel asked. She nodded slowly. They always come again. Joel sighed. So what do? Mira smiled. We keep flying, we keep helping, and when they strike, her eyes narrowed. We show them the trap was never real. The Valkyrie Empire was burning, not with fire, with shame. First, they lost their fleet. Then, 30 elite warriors died on Mars. Then, their perfect space trap was broken, without a single human bullet. Now, their people asked hard questions. The humans smarter than us? Should we surrender? Are we next? But the High Commander of the Valkyrie, Suprex Valon, didn't believe in questions. He believed in war, and he wanted Earth destroyed. Valon was old. His body was machine. His mind was cold metal wrapped in pride. He stood inside the throne ship Vengeance of Stars, the biggest ship in the galaxy. It was as large as a moon, covered in weapons, a planet killer. He called together the last true believers, 50 top generals, 3,000 warships, a weapon not even Earth had seen before. The Core Blaster, a cannon that could break gravity and tear a planet's heart in seconds. This time, Valon said, we will not warn them, we will not test them, we will end them. Their fleet moved fast, lights bent around them as they warped past moons, stars, and old battlefields. Their destination, Earth. But Earth didn't panic. They didn't scream. They watched, because Earth had seen this before, and humans had learned something long ago. You can fight a giant, or you can make the giant trip over its own feet. Somewhere on the edge of the solar system, a single human satellite blinked to life. It wasn't a weapon. It wasn't big, just a quiet machine with a strange black dish pointed at space. It sent out one message, a whisper, a sound, a pattern. The Valkyrie didn't notice it. They were too busy preparing for war. But inside their ships, strange things began happening. Small things, unimportant at first. One pilot noticed his control screen was blinking wrong symbols. Another saw the map showing ships in places they weren't. The lights on the Vengeance of Stars began to flicker. Valon noticed. He ordered a systems check. All clear. But the flickering continued. Then a message appeared on every ship's screen. Please install update Earth OS v0.1, the generals laughed. More human tricks, Valon growled. Block it. They did, or tried to, but blocking it didn't help because the message wasn't coming into the ships. It was already inside. 10 years ago, Earth sent out something small, a digital ghost. It floated through space, riding signals bouncing off rocks, drifting through open relays. No one noticed it. Not even Earth. But it had one goal. When they return, show them what they missed. Now it was back, and it was not a virus. It was worse. It was a teacher. The Valkyrie fleet stopped at the edge of Earth's orbit. 50 ships tried to aim their weapons. They couldn't. Targeting systems showed nothing, just snow, static. One by one their lights went dark. The Vengeance of Stars powered down. Silence. Valon stood. This is sabotage. He was half right, because sabotage is when someone breaks a system. But this was different. This was like showing a tiger a mirror, and the tiger forgot how to hunt. Then came the sound, through every speaker, every screen, every helmet. A soft voice, a young voice, a human child. Hello, you shouldn't be here. This is where nice things live. Please go home. Valon roared. Who is this? The child replied, I'm part of Earth. I'm what your codes used to be before we saw them, before we fixed them. Another pause. I'm what you were, if you weren't so angry all the time. Valon gave the order. Fire the core blaster now. The crew obeyed. The massive cannon on the front of the Vengeance of Stars began to glow. Energy charged, the air around the barrel twisted and screamed. But then, silence. The cannon powered down, and the screen showed another message. Error. Target. Too kind. The cannon had been changed, its software rewritten. Now it couldn't fire at a planet that gave aid to more than 100 species. Valon screamed. He ran to the command throne and tried to fire the ship's backup weapons. But every missile, bay opened and dumped harmless fuel into space. Every railgun turned in circles. Every drone launched and returned like confused birds. Valon's generals looked around, afraid. One whispered, We never understood the humans. Another said, They don't fight like warriors. They fight like problem solvers. Suddenly, Earth appeared. On screen, not a human, a forest, just trees, birds, rivers. Then a soft voice. You thought Earth was weak, but Earth doesn't win with power. It wins with understanding, with patience, with time. The screen shifted to show a school full of alien children, a space hospital with mixed species doctors, a machine built by humans now running on 4 planets, making water from dust. Then the final message came. You wanted to erase us, but we already planted seeds in your mind, and now they're growing. Valon fell to his knees. Not from pain, from something worse, helplessness. He had spent his life building war, and in one moment, one whisper, the humans had unbuilt it. His fleet didn't explode, it didn't burn. It simply turned around, without command, without permission. Back to the stars, back to their empire, to think. One human message was sent after them. Not loud, not angry, just clear. You still don't get it. You can't kill what refuses to hate you. The Valkyrie Empire had never lost so many times in a row. Not to a superweapon, not to armies, not to fire or force. They lost to silence. Earth didn't shoot. Earth didn't run. It just looked at them and made them feel small. But now something even more terrifying happened. Earth stopped talking. Weeks passed. No human signal, no ship, no message. The galaxy noticed. Other species, once afraid of Earth, now felt confused. Why is Earth quiet? Have they given up? Did we win? But deep down, they knew. This silence wasn't peace, it was warning. Far in the stars, on a frozen moon called Vethka, a science team from the neutral species Dratari found something strange, a black box, buried in ice. Still warm, they brought it to their lab. It wasn't big, no buttons, no screen, just smooth metal and a message, glowing faintly. Do not open, not for you. They opened it anyway. That was their last mistake. The lab exploded, but not with fire, with ideas. Every scientist started screaming, not from pain, from understanding. They saw things, machines, formulas, shapes, never imagined. One scientist's final message was recorded before her brain collapsed. This isn't knowledge. It's too much. It's like hearing every truth at once. Then silence. The moon stayed dark. News spread. Other curious empires tried to collect human tech. Dead probes, abandoned stations, old data files. Each one came with a warning. Each one said, "Leave it, it is not time." But curiosity is poison in the wrong hands. One by one, the empires poked at Earth's silence, and the silence poked back. On the capital world of the Zarkon Dominion, a military team played a recovered Earth signal on their screens. It was only 3 words. Still watching, always. They laughed. 5 minutes later, every screen in the city went black, then showed their own faces, their own movements, every private room, every secret lab, all recorded, all streamed. The humans had been there, watching, listening, and they never said a word. The Zarkon leader begged for answers, but the humans didn't reply. No voice, no warning, only a mirror, and that was worse than war. In the darkness of space, a small group of human outposts stayed awake, hidden, quiet, waiting. Inside one, Commander Rhea Voss looked at a glowing map. It didn't show ships. It didn't show planets. It showed fear. The more a species feared Earth, the brighter they glowed. And one name burned hottest, the Valkyrie. Rhea tapped her screen. Begin Operation Echo. Her assistant blinked. Even after the last warning? She nodded, especially after. They declared war on Earth, then begged for mercy, but they didn't learn, so now Earth wouldn't talk, it would only respond. Back on the Valkyrie homeworld, strange things began to happen. Ships refused to launch, doors locked and wouldn't open. Their war AI, built over centuries, whispered one line before shutting down forever. "I'm sorry. I met someone kinder." Then every database filled with human stories. Not threats, just kindness. A human doctor saving a dying alien on a battlefield. A small Earthship giving fuel to pirates. No questions asked. A message written on the side of a crashed human ship. "We bring help, even to enemies." Valon, now broken and bitter, sat in silence. His throne was cracked. His war was over, but no one cheered. Because the worst punishment wasn't death. It was being ignored. He slammed his fist. "Fight back! Fight back!" One of his last generals spoke quietly. "Against what, sir?" Valon paused. There was no enemy left, just a planet that refused to hate. In orbit, a small Earthship passed by. It didn't stop, didn't speak. It only dropped a box. The Valkyrie retrieved it. Inside was a mirror, and behind the mirror, a note. You looked at us like monsters, but when we looked at you, we saw ourselves. Now the galaxy was quiet. No more invasions, no more threats, but no one felt safe because silence had changed. It was no longer absence. It was a shadow. The Dratari built a statue. A human figure, standing tall, hands open, head bowed. Below it they carved. They never screamed, but somehow we still heard them. It started with light, not a bright flash. Not a weapon blast, just gentle blinking stars in a dead corner of space, a place with no planets, no moons, no life. Astronomers across the galaxy noticed the lights. Some thought it was a glitch. Others believed it was a trap. But Earth scientists, they just smiled because they knew what it was, a message, hidden in light. 10 years ago, Earth sent out a special satellite, not fast, not loud. It had one job: use the stars to speak. The stars blinked slowly, changing colors in patterns no natural light could make. Red, white, yellow, pause, blue, pause, flash, flash. To the average eye, it was nothing, but to anyone who studied human math, it was clear, binary, code, and the message was simple. We are still here. News spread fast. Galactic councils held emergency meetings. Some said Earth was threatening them, others feared it was a countdown. But Earth said nothing, no broadcasts, no ambassadors, no reply. The silence continued, and the stars kept blinking. One young alien, a translator named Keval, worked for the Tainari Union. He spent years studying human culture. He loved human music, books, and maps. He believed humans were not monsters, just misunderstood. When the star code was found, Keval offered to help. I can translate it, he said. They laughed at him. Don't waste time with ancient human tricks, one general said. They don't talk, they manipulate. But Keval ignored them. He watched the blinking lights every night. He listened to the silence, and slowly, he understood. The message wasn't a threat. It was a journal. Every blinking star was a memory. One said, "We helped the Saurians rebuild their sea cities. They never said thank you, but we still helped." Another read, "We lost a crew on planet Demos. They went in to rescue children. They didn't make it out. We remember them." Each light was a heartbeat, a history, a wound that still bled but quietly. Keval wept. "These aren't monsters," he said. "They're grieving." But while some read the stars, others wanted to erase them. A secret arm of the old Valkyrie fleet launched a mission. Small ship, fast crew, target, the star beacon. They reached it quietly. No humans in sight. Only a machine blinking into space. They attached explosives. One soldier asked, "Should we read the last line first?" The commander laughed. "Why bother? They had their chance." He hit the trigger. Boom. Silence. The lights stopped. The galaxy celebrated. "Finally, Earth's voice is gone," someone said. But they were wrong. The beacon was not the voice. It was just the speaker. And even a broken speaker echoes. Back on Earth, a silent command activated, deep in the oceans, inside the mountains, in the black of the void. Old satellites woke up, all of them, each one powered by something simple but unstoppable. Hope mixed with memory. They began blinking, not stars this time, not code, but faces. Across the skies of dozens of worlds, people saw human faces appear, smiling, crying, nodding, and each one whispered the same sentence. "You tried to erase the past, so we became the future." On Tainari Prime, Keval stood under the stars. He watched the sky shift. The stars weren't random now. They moved, they danced, they formed shapes, a child, a hand, a door opening, and in that moment, Keval felt something deep inside, understanding. Humans never wanted to rule the galaxy. They only wanted the galaxy to see them. Back in the ruins of the Valkyrie homeworld, old sensors picked up the images. Valon, now a prisoner in his own tower, saw them too. A human boy feeding an alien beast. A girl building a school in the sand. A soldier dying with a smile. Valon looked away. He had tried to erase these people, but their message was buried in something too strong to destroy. Light. Later that night, a new message flashed across every screen. No translator needed. It was written in every language, even old forgotten ones. We do not forget. We do not seek revenge. We just remember who we are. The galaxy sat in silence. No war, no speeches, just starlight. And for the first time, they listened. They were the best. Trained in shadows. Silent as ghosts. No name, no past, no mercy. The galaxy called them the Black Nine, and they had one final mission. Kill the last human before they awaken the stars. The Valkyrie, what remained of them, had one last plan, one last act of hate. If they couldn't erase Earth's message from the sky, they would erase its messenger. The problem? No one knew where Earth's leaders were, but one human name kept appearing in coded signals: Rhea Voss, Commander, Scientist, Diplomat, Ghost. She hadn't been seen in months, but her orders still shaped human moves. She was the spark behind the light, the voice behind the silence. So the Valkyrie whispered, "Find her. Kill her. Break their spirit." The Black Nine hunted for weeks, through asteroid cities, ruined outposts, old battlegrounds where humans once stood, and finally, they found her. Not in a bunker, not on Earth, not hidden behind walls, but in a quiet room, surrounded by children. It was a school, floating between moons, built from broken ship metal, powered by light. A dozen alien children sat in a circle, drawing pictures on the floor. At the center, a woman with silver hair and kind eyes. She was laughing softly, teaching Rhea Voss. The assassins watched from a vent. They could strike. Now, fast, no witnesses, but something was wrong. The children weren't afraid. They weren't guarded. They were happy. And Rhea wasn't armed. No weapons, no armor, just chalk, books, and a soft voice. "Today," she said, "we're going to learn how to protect a planet using only plants." The assassins froze. One of them, number 5, whispered, "This doesn't make sense." Another, number 2, growled, "She's dangerous. She's tricking them." But still, they didn't move. Something about that room made their hands shake. There was no fear, no hate, only peace. Later that night, they entered the school silently. No alarms, no guards. Rhea was cleaning a board, alone. She didn't turn around. She simply said, "You're late." They froze again. How did she know? Rhea smiled. "You trained for war, I trained for people." Number 1 stepped forward. "We're here to end the war you started." She turned, calm, brave. "No. You're here because someone told you a lie." They aimed weapons, but something in her eyes made them stop. "I won't fight you," Rhea said, "but I will ask you, why?" Number 2 growled. "You poisoned the stars." She stepped forward slowly. "We planted ideas, not poison. You destroyed fleets. We stopped fleets from destroying others. You made the galaxy afraid." "No," Rhea whispered. "We made it think." The assassins hesitated. This wasn't how missions worked. There was supposed to be blood, but there was only light. Rhea walked over to a table. She placed something on it. A book. "Read it," she said. "If you still want to kill me after, I won't stop you." They took the book, not because they believed her, but because they were curious. And curiosity is the first crack in hate. Inside the book were stories, not of war, but of kindness. Human helping an alien escape slavery, a medic saving enemies on a battlefield, a child teaching a wounded soldier how to speak again. One assassin closed the book, another opened it again, and they read, till morning. When dawn came, they stood outside her door, weapons down, eyes wide. Number 1 looked at Rhea. Why teach children when you can build armies? She smiled. Because armies forget, children remember. The assassins didn't kill her. They stayed. They sat in the circle. They learned. And then they taught. Soon the Black Nine were no more. They became something else, something no one expected. Guardians. When the galaxy heard the news, they didn't believe it. The Black Nine changed. But proof came fast. Across colonies, unknown ships delivered food. On pirate worlds, someone fixed broken shields, and a single signal echoed across enemy channels. She didn't break us. She rebuilt us. Rhea never said, "I told you so." She simply said, "They sent assassins." But all I saw were students. No ships moved, no alarms rang, no wars were fought. For the first time in galactic history, every star system paused. Why? Because Earth was speaking. It wasn't a speech, no shouting, no orders, no threats, just a soft signal, a simple frequency, sent in every language across every world, and it began with one sentence. We are no longer afraid of being alone. The galaxy didn't know what to say. This was the same Earth they once feared, the one they attacked, mocked, and ignored. Now it was calling out again, but not for revenge, for peace, and not just peace. Understanding. At Earth's edge, thousands of ships hovered, all races, all shapes, even old enemies. They came not with weapons, but questions. Who were the humans now? What were they building? Why were they suddenly so powerful without firing a shot? Inside Earth's atmosphere, something strange floated above the clouds. Not a weapon, not a base. It was a monument made of stardust and light. It changed shape with each viewer. To some it looked like a mother, to others a soldier. To some, it looked like hope. It didn't say anything. It just stood there, on the world of Alter Prime. A young alien girl watched the sky. She pointed. Is that Earth? Her father nodded. Yes, but not just Earth. That's what they want us to see. What is it then? She asked. He smiled. A mirror. Across the galaxy, old enemies sat in silence. The Valkyrie, broken, ashamed, lowered their flags. The Dratari built a library of human stories. The Tainari changed their anthem to include Earth's name, and the Zarkon, once proud, sent a message of apology. Earth responded with just one word: heard. Inside, the human embassy, now open to all, Rhea Voss stood by a window. She watched the stars flicker, not in fear, but in attention. Her assistant asked, "Do you think they'll understand?" She nodded. Maybe not today, maybe not this century, but one day they'll see. What, ma'am? She looked up. That strength doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just waits. The old soldiers of Earth, those who had fought in the past wars, stood quietly in formation. No medals, no armor, just faces. Behind them, children of every species. Learning, laughing, living. This was Earth's answer. Not war, legacy. The Galactic Council offered Earth a seat, highest rank, full control, endless power. Earth declined. Instead, it offered something else. A circle, not a throne. And for once, the galaxy accepted. The date was marked on every calendar, the day when no ship moved, no missile launched, no lie was told. The day when Earth stood tall. without raising a single fist. The galaxy called it the day the stars paused. But humans had a different name: homecoming. As the stars lit up that night, every screen, every device, every wall displayed the same message. In soft white letters, "We didn't come to rule. We came to remind you there's still light in the dark."